Hey everyone, big news just came out, and it's something you're not going to want to miss. The IRS has finally dropped an update that's got a lot of people talking, a brand new payment schedule for stimulus checks worth up to $3,200. Yep, you heard that right. Starting this Friday, money is going to start flowing out to folks across the country, and there's a ton to unpack here. Whether you've been waiting on this cash or you're just curious if you might qualify, I've got you covered with all the details. How much you could get, who's eligible, and when it might land in your account or mailbox. This isn't just a rehash of old news either. The system's been completely revamped to make things smoother and catch people who slipped through the cracks before. So, let's dive in and figure out what this means for you. First off, why is this even happening now? Well, even though the big stimulus rounds from a few years back are done, there are still folks who didn't get everything they were owed. Maybe you missed out entirely, or you only got part of what was coming to you. The Treasury Department and IRS have been digging through their records, clearing up a backlog of unprocessed payments, and they've come up with a smarter way to get this money out the door. They're using the latest tax info from 2022 and 2023 to make sure no one gets left behind this time. It's a huge effort, and it's all about making sure every eligible American gets what's rightfully theirs. So, who's getting this money? That's the big question, and the answer might surprise you because the rules have been tweaked to let more people in. If you're a single filer, your adjusted gross income needs to be $75,000 or less to get the full amount. 4 heads of household, that number jumps to $112,500, and if you're married filing jointly, it's $150,000. But here's the cool part, even if you're a bit over those limits, you're not automatically out. There's a phase-out system, so you might still snag a partial payment depending on how much you make. It's not an all-or-nothing deal anymore, which is a nice change. And it's not just about you, dependents are in the mix too. This time around, they've loosened up some of the old restrictions. College students or adult dependents who got skipped in earlier rounds. They could be eligible now, and that could mean a bigger payout for families. Imagine if you've got a kid in school or someone else you claim on your taxes, this could add up fast. The IRS is looking at your most recent tax returns to figure this all out, so if your situation's changed lately, that's going to play a role in what you get. Now, let's talk timing because that's what everyone's dying to know. The first wave of direct deposits kicks off this Friday, and it's targeting people who've already filed their 2023 taxes and have their bank info on file with the IRS. If that's you, keep an eye on your account because the money could show up any day now. For those who haven't filed yet, don't freak out, there's still time. The IRS has opened a special window for you to get your paperwork in or update your details. But the sooner you do it, the faster you'll see that cash. After the direct deposits, paper checks start going out the following week, and the whole process is expected to wrap up in about 6 to 8 weeks. If you're on Social Security or other federal benefits, you're in luck too, you're automatically included, no extra steps needed in most cases. How much are we talking here? The headline number is $3,200, but it's not set in stone for everyone. If you got partial payments before, the IRS is going to do some math and top you off with whatever you're still owed. Some people might even get more than $3,200 if they've got dependents or missed out big time in the past. Others might see a little less, depending on what's already been sent their way. Oh, and if you've moved or switched banks since your last tax filing, there's a new online portal where you can update your info. That's a lifesaver because no one wants their check going to the wrong place. The rollout's got a few phases to it. After those first direct deposits hit, the paper checks and debit cards come next. The IRS is using the last 2 digits of your Social Security number to figure out the mailing order for checks, so you can kind of guess when yours might show up if you're not getting it electronically. They've also upgraded their Get My Payment tool to help you track things. It's more accurate now and updates more often. Just a heads up, though, there's a new verification step to fight fraud, so you might need to confirm your identity before you can check your status. It's a small hassle, but it's there to keep your money safe. What if you don't usually file taxes because your income's low? Good news, they've made it easier for you too. There's a simplified tool you can use to claim your payment without jumping through all the usual hoops. And if you were a dependent in 2022 but independent in 2023, you might qualify now even if you didn't before. That's a big shift, and it could mean a nice chunk of change for people who've been on their own lately. Plus, these payments won't mess with your other benefits like SNAP or Social Security. They're totally separate, so you don't have to worry about losing anything else. For folks getting checks in the mail, there's a new tracking system that lets you see when it's printed, mailed, and due to arrive. That's a game changer. No more wondering if it's lost in the ether. If something goes wrong and your payment doesn't show up, they've set up a dedicated phone line and online portal to sort it out. And here's a relief: if you owe back taxes or federal debts, most of that won't touch this money. The exception is child support, but for everything else, it's yours to keep. There's more to this than just the basics. If you're married and one spouse has a social security number but the other doesn't, the eligible spouse can now get the full payment, another tweak from the old rules. Some states are even tossing in extra cash on top of the $3,200, so depending on where you live, you might get a bonus. Business owners and self-employed folks, heads up, you might need to have your Schedule C or other tax forms ready, especially if your income bounced around between 2022 and 2023. Timing your filing right could boost what you get, so that's something to think about. Shared custody situations follow the same vibe as the child tax credit rules, so it's whoever claims the kid that gets the dependent payment. And with scams popping up left and right, watch out. The IRS won't call, text, or email you about this. If someone's asking for your info out of the blue, it's fake. Stick to the official IRS website for updates. If you think you got shorted or denied unfairly, there's a faster appeals process now, and even if you miss this first wave, you can still claim it later with some extra steps. That's the rundown. This is a big deal, and it's moving fast, so check your status, update your info if you need to, and spread the word to anyone who might benefit. I'll keep you posted as more comes out, especially on what paperwork you'll need to make this go as quick as possible. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let's make sure everyone gets what's coming to them.